Hey guys, what's up? Today I am with Kinota. Kinota, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, so my name is Kinota Braithwaite, and I'm an African Canadian here in Japan. I work at an international school here in Tokyo, and I'm also writing books and speaking at universities or other international schools throughout Japan. And I have two children, and their mom is Japanese, and they're growing up here in Japan.
How long you been in Japan?
So it's been about 4 years almost. Yeah, 4 years this August.
When you say that you're writing books and like talking, like speaking to the youth, are you writing books like related to English, something related stuff?
Not exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah,
okay.
not exactly.
All right, okay.
So my books are actually they're written in English and translated into Japanese. But the book started because of my daughter's experience. My daughter entered her Japanese school, and for the yeah, whenever I talk about this, I get really emotional. Yeah. So my daughter, she entered her Japanese school. She was doing fine. She made many friends, and she really liked her school. And we had no complaints about the school. It was a very good school. And one day she came home and she said, Dad, I don't want to go to school anymore. And that was kind of surprising because we never had this experience before, right? And she always liked going to school. So I kept asking her, why don't you want to go to school? And I just didn't know what to think. So we talked to her teacher, and she said, "Oh, Mio, my daughter is doing okay." And then we kept talking. I kept asking Mio what was the problem, and she said that there's some children at her school who were bullying her because of her skin color. Yeah. So I was kind of taken aback, and we worked with the school principal. It was Japanese school principal, and I thought he was just going to brush it under the carpet. Oh, there's no problem. No, there's no bullying here. But he was a good person. He talked to the parents that were bullying the parents of the students who were bullying my daughter, and he was like, skin color? He's like, he's like, this is unacceptable and must stop.
And that school was also a public school?
It was Japanese public school.
Wow.
Yeah. So I thought to myself, I got to do something. Yeah, I have to do something to make things better. So I went to her school, and I asked the parent of one of the children that was bullying my daughter,
Okay.
to act as a translator.
All right.
And she said yes. She said, I'd love to come and translate your presentation to the children. So I walked into the school. I explained to them why my daughter's skin color was slightly different than theirs, why her hair was a certain way.
All right.
And one of the kids that was bullying her, he came up to me afterwards, and he said, Mr. Kinota, he could speak English. He said, Mr. Kinota, that was a really good presentation.
Wow.
And please come back to our school at any time. And he's like, I'm very sorry for what we did to your daughter and what we said to her, and we won't do that again. So, and I thought to myself, you know what? It's not only kids getting bullied because of their skin color. There's kids getting bullied for whatever reasons. So sorry, I get so, I thought, okay, well, I live in Japan, and I want to do something not only for my daughter, but all the kids in Japan, and stop bullying. So
How did you manage to control those emotions? And like as a father, how did you deal with that kind of situation at that moment?
Well, okay, I'll be honest. At the beginning, I was angry.
Okay.
Yeah, I was angry. But then I thought to myself, if I do the same thing, then what kind of message am I sending to the students? And what kind of message am I sending to my daughter? So I thought, okay, maybe going to the school and yelling and doing all that, that's not the right way. So I thought maybe I can go there and talk to the kids and they can see that, okay, well, he has a different skin color and has a very positive message.
All right.
So I thought that was the way to do things. Yeah.
Wow. But for you as personally, like working as a teacher here in Japan, personally, did you ever face any kind of like discrimination or racism? And like, if you did, like, how did you handle that?
Me personally?
Yeah, personally.
Well, I've experienced, there are, like, as a foreigner in Japan, there are some things that I faced as like discriminatory, right? So maybe like with housing, or maybe getting stopped by the police,
All right. Okay.
or maybe somebody not sitting beside you on the train.
Okay.
But I try to like my approach is like through education.
All right.
Yeah. And maybe saying to everybody, like, we're all of the human race.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe that person doesn't understand, and we're all human beings here, right?
I see. All right. And can you talk a little bit more about your books and like the talks that you give, so that people, if they want to kind of contact you in the future, they could know like where to approach you or stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit about my books. So this is my first book that I wrote.
Okay.
This book is called Mio the Beautiful.
All right. Okay. Mio is your daughter's name.
Yeah,
Right? Okay.
Mio's my daughter's name,
Wow.
right? And I wrote this book just to spread a message that all children are beautiful, regardless of where they come from or what they look like.
All right.
So I wrote that book, and I wrote a few other books.
All right. Okay.
But I'm actually speaking at many international schools and universities here in Japan.
Okay. I will get to the point of university. What about your daughter? Because she's young, right?
Right.
To hers, how old is your daughter now?
She's 11.
Yeah, she's 11. And when
Yeah.
she got bullied, she was
She was 8 years of age. Yes. Yeah.
such an
Yeah.
age. So and still she's so young.
Right.
How does she see that? Because like kids could be sometimes very like shy or embarrassed. Like,
Right.
Daddy, what are you doing? Don't do that. I don't want my name on the book or something, right?
Right,
And
right.
of course they're kids, right? They don't really.
Right.
How is her, the whole process that what you've been doing now, her response to it?
It's been fairly good. I understand what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, Dad, what are you doing?
Yeah. Okay.
It's been fairly good because I told her after the incident, I said, Mio, I know she's okay.
All right. Okay.
But I said, I promise you that I'll fight bullying.
Okay.
And not only for you, but all the children here in Japan.
Okay.
So she takes it as like, yeah, Dad is trying to do something good for everybody, right? And so she's, when my work gets acknowledged, she's very happy to see that, like, the effort to stop bullying here in Japan, it's actually working.
And is she still going to a public school here in Japan?
She's still going to the same school.
Same school.
Same school.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
And now with the children that were like bullying her, they have a good relationship.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So it turned out okay.
Another thing about, like, you say you go to universities and schools. I
Yes.
wonder, like, what is, like, when the university students listen to you about the story,
Right.
do they even realize? Because, a lot of time bullies, they don't even know if they're bullying someone.
Right.
Because for them, it's like fun, it's cool,
Yeah.
when they listen to you, how do they relate to it? Or, like, what do they talk about after the session?
Some of them are in shock.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them are like, "What? This happened?" And some of them are like, they come up to me, and they're in tears. They're like, "Wow, this happened." But all of them after the talk, they say, "We want to fight bullying." So it's a good experience, right? It's a good experience. I started like just at a local school in Kanagawa, Ken.
Okay.
And so far I spoke at the University of Tokyo.
Wow.
Yeah, I spoke at the U.S. Embassy. So it's starting to take a life of its own. But again, it's not about me. It's about the kids that I'm trying to help.
All right.
By writing these books and giving these talks
All right.
to try and help these kids. Yeah. For the children that are being bullied in school, I've dedicated my life to making sure that this stops. And I don't have all the answers, but I'll keep writing books, keep spreading this positive message, and I'll do whatever I can to help you, because I think you deserve a good childhood and a happy life.
This was a great message, and it's an amazing mission that you are on.
Thank you.
Guys, so thank you so much for watching this video today. And in case if you want to contact Kinota, like maybe I might have missed some questions, I'll put all his contact details in the description box below for you guys to directly contact him. And please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, smile. Peace.